Hi everyone. Today we're going to be doing a comparison between the three most popular turntables for bonsai in North America anyways. The reason I say North America is because two of the featured turntables here are made in the USA and the other one I believe is made in Italy. I'm not actually really sure about that. We'll get all to that later. This one is the Meco Deluxe without the casters and a smaller top. This is the green tea. They make a couple versions of them. This is the largest of them. This is the Meco Deluxe with casters. Wow. And also has the larger of the tops. Now, the reason we're so short to begin with is just to give you an idea of their shortest heights. The left table is already at its lowest height. That is the lowest you'll ever possibly work. Here are my knees. Gives you an idea where it is. The green tea, which is a hydraulic table, lowers a little further, all the way down there. That's knee level. That's pretty low. You can easily sit there and comfortably work on a bar stool or a office chair and easily work with the lower height. The Meco smaller size table, this is its lowest height. Now let's talk about the highest height. The Meco tables have an interesting feature in that they have 2 points of lift. The first comes up, and then it has a twist knob to keep it stable. From there, you then use this a little bit awkward of a hand crank, but it's awkward for a reason. We'll get to that. And then, like the sands through the hourglass, I think it was something like 75 turns to get to the top. It's actually kind of a bit of a pain in the ass. Still going. Still going. Turn, turn, turn. Turn, turn, turn. So as you can see, that immediately is one of my complaints about the Meco stand. And by the way, I've been improperly referring to them as the Meco stand this entire time. Meco is now called Superfly Bonsai. And Superfly Bonsai is now the owner and the manufacturer of these stands. Roger sold his business to Andrew, and Andrew has been operating it for I think the last month or two or so, give or take. But anyways, just to make sure everything's correct, I'll try to properly refer to these as the Superfly stands. But if I occasionally say Meco, Superfly is what I truly mean. So anyways, this is full height. You probably can't even see it. It's really freaking tall. It's literally nipple level. It's good stuff. Now let's see the green tea, where the green tea goes. Now you notice you got to kick the thing each time you want it to go up. Not a big deal. It's a lot faster than the hand crank. But one advantage you'll notice is that it continues to rise. There is no additional lift it up from here and then twist the knob. There is a knob here, but this knob simply facilitates locking this if for some reason you didn't want this to lower. Not actually sure why you'd ever even use that, but the option is there for you. One of the things I found odd at first, and you'll want to be careful as a new green tea owner if you choose this model, is that if you accidentally have this locked in place and you don't realize that, and you go twist the knob, all of a sudden your tree goes plonk. Now that's common on all of these models. They all have the second tier lift with the locking knob. So that is a risk on every single one of these turntables. It's not specific to the green tea or to the Superfly Deluxes. But you know, quite frankly, once you know how to use the table, it's really not that hard. We'll leave this up for now, but actually, not screw it, we'll just show you how to lower it. It's real easy. Just go like that. Goes all the way down. Now the heavier the tree is, the quicker the hydraulics the quicker the hydraulics will lower, and it is pressure sensitive, so the further down you hold the pump, the quicker it lowers the tree. Okay, now on to the, let's step over all these dogs. Now this is the Meco Deluxe. This is at its fullest, I'm sorry, its lowest height. My dumbass put a big azalea on here first. So this is something to keep in mind with the Superfly, not Meco, sorry, the Superfly stand, is that unlike the green tea, where you can simply set a tree and lift it anywhere you want and lower it anywhere you want, if you want to make the half bar adjustments with the Superfly stands, you must do so with either a light tree or before the tree is placed on the stand. So similar to everything, you know, you have to properly plan your work. So now that that's down, you simply loosen the knob, lift it up, and twist. Now, is that a problem that you have to do that? At first I thought, well, geez, that's really stupid and that's really annoying. But you know what it turned out not to be, because this isn't really that much of a height increase. I mean, you're looking at, that's roughly, I get 10 inches this way. A friend of mine gets 8, just for the record. And he knows who he is. I won't say his name, Jason. Anyways, so from here's about a foot. And that's not really that much of an increment to have to mess with, considering you get, I don't know, what is this, 3 feet here? Well, let's start going. You'll notice the one with the casters moves a little bit when you rotate it. So simply by locking 2 of them into place, it makes raising and lowering it steady without it moving. One thing I did fail to mention, I did say that this has casters, but one thing I didn't mention is the importance and the annoyance of the casters and the pros and the cons of each. So, whew, we're almost to the top. All right, now for the fun part. Now all the turntables are at full height. The neat thing with the casters is as you work a large tree, you're going to need to move the damn thing around. Also, depending on how many people are in the area, you may have to move your turntables a lot. In my shop, we have 250 trees, anywhere from Shohin size, which is maybe 20 or 30 of them, all the way up to trees that take 9 or 10 people to actually lift and move. And the 9 or 10 people actually isn't an exaggeration. Really took 9 sets of hands to move one of our ficuses. This turntable would hold it. This one would not. That one the pot wouldn't even fit on. So which turntable do you choose? Well, I guess it really depends on what's available to you. Outside of North America, that's your choice. It's going to have to be. Because the Meco ones aren't really available, our Superfly ones, currently anyways, aren't really available anywhere else other than buying them within the United States. So now let's look at their completed height. Probably be surprised to see how tall they actually go. In fact, we're even going to have to move the camera just to show you that. So as you can see, there is a huge discrepancy in the height differences of the turntables. Look how much taller the Mecos go. Now to me, personally, as I'm working on something, I'm kind of a stander. So when I work on a tree, I definitely do like to be standing. So to give you a quick comparison, as I'm fiddling with the camera to get it at the correct height angle, I mean, let's get the azalea back onto the bigger of the stands. Oh, this is what I had failed to mention. The smaller turntable, the legs collapse. They simply go 1, 2, 3. Since this goes the entire way down, anytime I'm going somewhere and I'm going to bring a turntable, the small Meco one, the small Superfly one, is the one I'm absolutely going to choose every time, unless there's really a good reason not to. And by the way, I purchased this used from Eric Weigert from a customer who had probably had it for the last 10 or 15 years. It is in absolutely excellent condition. The customer who had this also kept it outside. So this is 10 or 15 years of outside use and outside storage. Incredible. Okay. Whoops. That wasn't the green tea, that was a big mop. Anyways, so now we're back to these guys. Let's take a look at these and consider a few of the features between the two. Now, as you can see, there's absolutely a huge height discrepancy between the two, and I find that awesome. I'm 6 foot tall, and if I'm working on lower branches on a tree, I'd really like to actually be able to see the lower branches of the tree while I'm standing. Some people may like to look down on the lower branches. I like to look up and down. Why would I want to restrict my options? By the way, all of the turntables have a universal feature of a top lock so that this will stay put, this will stay put. The spinning is completely optional, and it's just a little on off right there, just a little twist knob. So let's lower these a little bit so they don't look quite so funky next to each other. And then we're going to look at a couple of the other features of these turntables that really make them a factor when purchasing. Primarily what I'm referring to is the underneaths. Let's look at the guts. This is the bottom of the green tea. You can see large 5 flat bars that extend from a not so fat but not so thin tube that goes to another tube down to the hydraulics. Now the support under here is important because that's big, that's fat, and it has nice big ring hooks for strapping your tree down to, or whatever the hell you need it for. I find I use these hooks quite often. It's a feature of the green tea as well as a feature of the Superfly. Now if you look at the Superfly, you think, wait a minute, what the hell? They've only got 4 little bars there. Green tea's got 5. Surely the green tea can hold a bigger tree. Aha, that's not true. As you can see, there's this angled iron, as well as this is a cabinet grade countertop versus, I believe, this is not cabinet grade countertop. You can see the differences in the grain. The grain is about twice as thick on this, whereas this is, gosh, I don't even think that's a 1/16 of an inch per slice there. It's really not inexpensive wood. Additionally, the craftsmanship, you can see everything is literally spot welded. Well, I'm not a welder, by the way, so I have no freaking clue if spot welding is actually even the right term. But everything looks properly welded or assembled, however you want to call it. And the base is sturdy, it's strong, and the casters are simple. To engage or disengage a caster with your foot, you simply tap it, it's off, click it, it's locked. Sometimes you get some pebbles that stick up in here, and I thought that would be a clogging problem for the casters, but it turned out not to be, since when you release it, if there's any loose lava rock or stone, it just simply falls right through. Now, even though there's 5 casters with 5 wheels, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to lock all 5 of them to keep it in place. It simply means that you have 5 options of where to lock it. One thing I find is fun is by just locking one of the casters, it allows me to move the table a little bit while still keeping it in the same place. But if I really want to lock it in place, just flip two of them. They can be next to each other or across from each other. It doesn't really matter, but just as long as two of them are locked, that stand is not moving. The green tea, it's kind of a bitch to move. It's not a heavy stand at all. It's absolutely not, or I'm sorry, a turntable. It's absolutely not a heavy turntable whatsoever. But I just don't like dragging shit across concrete all the time. I got dogs. You know, they do enough nail scratching and things like that on the floor. Luna. Well, you ask for one, you get the other. Anyhow, so I guess this is. Oh, by the way, my apologies. With the green, with the Superfly, and with respect to the bottoms here, I do think there's a little bit of improvement for their wire their holders in comparison to the green tees. I like the circularness of theirs, and I like their placement more close to the edge of the base. On the Superfly table, they're a lot further in. Now, it does have its trade-offs though, even though they're a lot further in, since the Superfly table is more of an octagon, whereas the green tee is a circular. You'll find that if you're strapping something to the Superfly table, it will actually hold a lot better, as if you know when you strap something to something circular, it tends to move left and right, whereas you strap something to something flat, it actually kind of holds. So the, what's 8-sided? Hexagon, octagon? Hell if I know. I have a friend who's in UFC training. Hi Eddie, if you're watching. I wouldn't fight him, he'd kick my ass in like 3 seconds. Anyways, he's also great at making grafting knives and is making some really cool ones for us. I hope to be able to show you one day soon. Nonetheless, these tables are both absolutely awesome. Which one would I buy? I live in North America. I would choose the Superfly one, hands down, under any condition. The Superfly one, I believe, is about $525, something like that, for the deluxe one. For the small one, it's something like $295, $300, something like that. And the green tea is approximately $350. My price is off. The prices, I'm sure, will also change over time, as products tend to do, as things improve and supply chains change. But regardless of the price, it really doesn't matter about the price of the turntables. What's more important is the types of the trees that you're working on. If you're finding something rather large that you like to work on all the time, you're definitely going to want to go by the Superfly larger one. Whereas if you want to work on your smaller trees or have smaller height, the green tea is a great way to go, as well as the Superfly normal sized one. The green tea and the Superfly normal sized one are basically the same price, plus or minus 5–10%, whatever it was. The green tea is great. The hydraulics make it easy. You could further improve the Meco tables perhaps by removing the green bar that's down there, that little guy, and just maybe sticking a socket on there instead and using a cordless drill to move it up and down. I probably will actually make that modification. And last but not least, we do have one other thing to show you real quick, and that is the wire caddy. This is also a Superfly product. Now, if these are, 2 kilos a piece, I think, something like that. 1 kilo a piece, 2 pounds, that's what it is, yeah. So you figure you got a nice way to bench curl 15, and it's also a very portable way to store your wire. Very simple to operate. As you can see, I'm obviously a fan of the Superfly table. I own 2 of the big ones now. I like the big ones so much I had to buy 2. The green tea and the other one, I just kind of leave to the side and use those for workshops or traveling as needed. even though I've never actually had to travel before because I'm a newbie and who the hell would want to hire me or even have me anywhere, but hey, what the hell, the option's there. So this is a wire caddy. The cool thing about a wire caddy is that it saves you money. And you're like, no, wire caddies don't save you money, they're expensive. Yes, this is $225, I know that, and it sounds stupid. $225 to hold 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, $120 worth of wire. Makes absolutely no logical sense, right? But it does. First, taking it apart, very easy. They just lift up, you set your roll of wire on it. Not rocket science. The only trick is make sure it's all going the same direction. I'll show you why in a moment here. Now, if you just see this at a show, you're like, wow, that's amazing, it holds wire. Whoop-de-doo-doo. It actually has a lot of purpose, and I didn't even realize it until I bought one from Weigert. I liked it so much, I bought 2 more from Superfly, as you can see, both up there. That one holds my copper, and that one holds the really heavy aluminum, the stuff from like 5mm all the way up to 9mm. So anyways, if you keep your, let's lock this into place so we don't move, and then we'll also lock the top. Where are you? There we go. So as you're working on a tree, you just simply grab your spool of wire and you spin the top, and the wire comes with it. If you want to retract it, easy enough. Just bring it back and it goes the opposite way. It's a really, really awesome design. I can't say enough good things about these. If you wire more than 20 trees a year and you do not own this product, I think you are a fool. I have purchased the other ones before. I had one made out of wood. I had one made out of wood with plastic little inserts that you had to coil the thing on and clip it into some PVC crap. All they ever do is break. They get clumped up, they get complexed. They're just not good units. This is solid as hell. It's incredibly sturdy. It's also very light, and I know it costs more than the wire that it actually sits on, but quite frankly, I don't really ever want to go without it. It's so easy to swap rolls. It's so easy not to get your 1 and 1.5mm and 2mm wire all tangled up in a mess. It's easy to see which one's which by going to the next size up and to the next size down. There's just so much simplicity about this product that I don't understand why I don't see more of them in use. Well, hell, I guess I oversold that one, huh? For the record, I paid full retail price for everything you see here. I was offered a small discount from Superfly because I purchased multiple products from them at the same time. But at no time was any consideration or mention of a review given to either company. So these are completely unsolicited from either Superfly or from Green Tea. Both are phenomenal products. Both types of turntables from Green Tea as well as Superfly. You should be proud to own any of them. And I think that based on seeing how I've wiggled mine around, adjusted the heights, and you can see how tall they go, what types of trees they hold, the types of underneaths, how each of the mechanisms work. I think now maybe you can get a better idea of what's available on the market and make a decision for yourself. So, as a final, let's show you a little bit of azalea porn. Ooh, so pretty. So this azalea was purchased from Brussels a little while back. I've done so much work to this, I have paid it off on my credit card. So the joke there being is I've had the tree a month, but it's such a beautiful tree, and it's not often you get to enjoy an azalea bloom. And they do have some rather fun colors on them too. Some of the leaves can be literally split into twos, where you have half colors coming on an actual half of a leaf. I can't say I've quite ever seen that before. This one is a Korin Satsuki variety of who the hell knows. This little guy is a Portulacaria afra cork bark. It was grown, I believe, by Frankie over 17 years, and then purchased by a gentleman in Georgia, who then sold it to me. I've had this tree in my care for perhaps 3 or 4 months, give or take. And that's it. There's a little bit of tree porn, a lot of it about some great stands and some great wire caddies for you, and a couple puppy dogs. I know it's a lengthy video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thumbs down if you hate it. Thumbs down if you love it. That'd be actually pretty funny to get thumbs down on all of my videos and no thumbs up. So if you guys want to work for that, go for it. If you have any additional comments to share, please do so below. Thanks again. Please subscribe. Cheers.